Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes Reacts. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Collectively we're the Office Blokes.
Yep.
A couple of other YouTube channels. We like to try stuff. We like to talk about stuff.
We've got a Patreon channel.
Patreon channel. It's very true. We have social media. We have merch. Look at it. It's all right.
Lovely merch.
All that good stuff. There's a link in the description. It'll take you everywhere you need to go. So, NASA reestablishes contact with the Voyager almost 12 billion miles from Earth.
How?
I don't know what type of video this is going to be. Is it going to be footage of them like, you know, hello, is that Voyager?
I don't know, yeah. Hello? Hello?
I don't know what, you know, because it's obviously
12 billion
unmanned.
miles.
But 12 billion miles. It's just
Far.
Is the
a long
Voyager
way,
the one
I
that's
reckon.
just going and never coming back?
Not sure.
There's a
think it
probe
is.
they sent out in there and it's
I
just...
think it's just going for forever, isn't it? I think. I'm sure it is.
It's not what is 12 billion miles, really? How can you even comprehend that?
It's joking.
It's far, innit?
Madness.
We're like
Absolute
scientists,
madness.
aren't we?
I know, we are proper scientists.
long
So what's the
way.
sun?
It's a star.
How many
that
was
kind
the
of-
It's a
distance?
big hot thing.
93 million miles, the sun.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Should know, really, shouldn't we? But is that what it is?
I'm guessing. I think it might be 93 million
I'm
miles.
guessing about 94 million miles.
More like
Google it.
95, but
Anyway, we'll get
see
into
who's
it.
closest.
NASA reestablishes contact with the Voyager almost 12 billion miles from Earth. Let's do it.
44 years. That's how long it's been since the Voyager 2 space probe left our blue home planet to subsequently gain new insights into our galactic neighborhood in the endless expanses of space. During this time, NASA's unmanned spacecraft penetrated an incredible 12 billion miles into space and passed numerous planets of our solar system during its flight. While Voyager 2 has regularly sent important data to Earth over the past 4.5 decades, the connection to the world-famous probe was severed for many months in March of last year. We will now reveal the reasons for this and how the experts of the renowned space agency finally managed to restore the signal to Voyager 2. However, before we get into this topic, we would like to take a look at the spacecraft's history together with you. In today's video, you'll find out which celestial bodies the probe has already visited during its decades-long flight, which galactic milestones have been recorded in the process, and what the future of the venerable space vehicle looks like. We hope you enjoy the story of Voyager 2. If you like our videos, feel free to support us with a thumbs up, subscribe to Simply Space, and stay tuned for videos coming your way in the future. The Voyager program, a new age of space exploration dawns. The year is 1977, and NASA's 2 Voyager spacecraft open a new chapter in modern space exploration. The origins of this large-scale project reach far back into the 1960s. After experts calculated the necessary orbits and designed the complex spacecraft on the drawing board, the 2 Voyager probes were finally completed by the middle of the following decade. Voyager 2 finally entered the seemingly endless expanse of space on August 20th, 1977, followed 16 days later by its identical sister probe. The mission goals of this project were as ambitious as they were groundbreaking. Since experts at that time still had very little well-founded knowledge about the outer celestial bodies of our solar system, the Voyager probes were entrusted with the task of taking a closer look at our remote galactic neighbors. Equipped with the most advanced equipment of the time, Voyager 2 finally reached the regions of the Jupiter system on April 25th, 1979. During the first stop on its galactic journey, the spacecraft succeeded in exploring Jupiter's moons Io, Europa, Callisto, Amalthea, and Ganymede. The 2 Voyager probes discovered a total of 3 previously unknown moons of the giant celestial body.
What does it do? Is it taking pictures? Is it like sending out a signal and something's bouncing back like sonar or radar or something?
I don't think they're sending like 35mm negatives back to be developed at fucking Max Spielman.
How are they communicating with it?
I think it's radio waves, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd guess.
It'd have to be radio waves, yeah.
Yeah. But it's still incredible that they can get this distance and they can actually communicate them to get a signal back and send one to it. I mean, it's absolutely mind-blowing.
My phone signal goes when I go down Oldfield Brown.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking is the technology of the time when it set off.
1977. A long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No mobile phones or anything like that.
So what are they getting back? That's just what I want to know. Is it just...
It'd be radio waves.
Radio wave signals, I suppose, difference in frequencies. I suppose that's the way they have to decipher it and everything.
I'm not a scientist. No,
I'm not.
You're not a scientist?
No.
I know we sound
right.
I know we sound like it, but...
Not
The
yet,
fundamental importance of the discoveries made by the Voyager probes up to the present day can be illustrated by one particular example. It was the data obtained by the two spacecraft that provided the first evidence for the existence of a giant ocean on Europa that's subglacial, in other words, under a glacier. This region on Jupiter's moon is still considered the most promising area when it comes to the hypothetical presence of extraterrestrial life forms. Voyager 2 would eventually approach the largest planet in our solar system, whose equatorial diameter is an impressive 89,000 miles to within 354,000 miles. In the course of the following investigations, the spacecraft was able to take the first images of Jupiter's rings, while its sister on the giant planet detected lightning on an alien celestial body for the first time.
So it is images.
It's fucking weird space, isn't it?
It's
Very much so.
kind of mind-boggling.
It just blows your mind, doesn't it?
What are they there
Really,
for
all
then?
the time.
The planets I'm talking about.
What the planet's there for?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Just there, aren't they? I mean, told you were a scientist, didn't I?
Mind-boggling.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Astonishing findings about Saturn. Following this, Voyager 2 set off for Saturn. This time too, NASA employees on Earth were able to enjoy new, previously completely unknown information regarding the iconic ringed planet. Thanks to the data obtained by the spacecraft, we now know that extreme storms rage on Saturn, often reaching speeds of 1,640 feet per second. In addition, the lowest temperature on the planet's surface has been estimated at a bone-chillingly cold -311 degrees Fahrenheit. The experts had also not known about the fascinating aurora-like natural spectacles on the celestial body in the run-up to the Voyager program. When Voyager 2 finally reached the realms of Uranus in November 1985, it had already exceeded its originally predicted lifespan by a factor of 2. As we know today, the space probe was to continue functioning for the following decades and continue to supply NASA employees on our blue home planet with incomparably important data from space. In fact, Voyager 2 is not only the first spacecraft to visit remote Uranus, but the only one to do so. And the same is true of Neptune. Voyager 2 is the first probe to reach Uranus. But before the unmanned spacecraft set out to discover the nature of Uranus, which is located about 1.9 billion miles from our home planet, Voyager 2 discovered 11 previously unknown moons on this icy celestial body, which is about 4 times larger than the Earth. The flyby of the ice giant followed on January 24, 1986, during which the space probe approached the planet named after a Greek god at a distance of 51,000 miles. Before Voyager 2 entered the regions of Uranus, scientists had assumed that the celestial body was a gas giant. Thanks to Voyager 2, however, we now know that there is a massive layer of water ice beneath the gas shell of the gigantic planet. The nature of Uranus's magnetic field also amazed the experts. With its 4 poles and its spiral orientation, it was different from all other known magnetic fields. Always near the ice giant is the Uranus moon Miranda, also the innermost of all natural satellites of the celestial body. Miranda's surface again resembles a battlefield. The moon's outer surface is crisscrossed by the countless furrows up to 12 miles deep. What has struck the surface of the satellite so severely is still unclear. Voyager 2 finally reached the 4th.
It's kind of, a moon that far away that's being battered by a space rock and it's got chunks missing out of it and stuff. It's just, you can't even comprehend it. It's kind of mind-boggling,
all the
isn't
actual detail they get as well. And how did he come up with the idea that they've got like ice there and oceans and the equipment that they've got to collect the data. And don't forget, like say, this equipment is from like the 70s, isn't it?
Who's taking pictures of the Voyager?
Voyager 1. I think it goes back to what I said on a previous video. None of us can disprove it, so they can say whatever they want. Found this planet. What's it made of? Water. Some gas on top.
Ice with chunks missing. Just have to speak a little bit slower.
And last planet of the mission in the summer of 1989. The parallels between Neptune and Uranus were astonishing. Just like its galactic neighbor, Neptune, christened after the Roman god of the sea, is a fascinating ice giant whose magnetic field has a similarly unorthodox structure as that of Uranus. After the spacecraft sent the last images of Neptune, its rings and surrounding moons toward Earth, the probe left the known realms of our solar system behind and began a unique journey into an unexplored world, interstellar space. While Voyager 1 moved in a northerly direction from our home planetary system, its sister took a southern route. Experts are waiting in suspense to see what groundbreaking information the spacecraft will send to Earth in the future. However, to stay in contact with the probe, which is some 12 billion miles away, requires an incomparably powerful antenna on Earth. And it was precisely this antenna that had to undergo a major overhaul in the spring of 2020, causing contact with Voyager 2 to be interrupted for many months. Reestablishing contact with Voyager 2.
That's what caused COVID. Funny that fucking gets re-established and then all of a sudden...
Yeah. So it was sent from 12 billion miles away.
Oh, that telescope.
Oh, the telescope caused it. I thought it was the Earth being flat that caused COVID. The ice wall. It was frozen in the ice wall.
Yeah.
No? Okay. Imagine that, though. They've not had contact with it for months.
Years.
And then it was months, wasn't it? Because they switched off the telescope.
Yeah, I think it's a few months, wasn't it? I think.
And then you finally get contact.
Can you imagine if this thing keeps going to interstellar space, maybe it'll go into like a different galaxy. Can you imagine if it went past like some sort of like Earth or planet somewhere else and actually saw life and it's like planes going off and stuff.
I suppose that's probably what they were thinking when
that's
they first sent it
Well,
out.
yeah,
absolutely. That's what they're hoping for, and that's the end goal, isn't it?
I suppose it is, isn't it? Yes, if there's life out there, I suppose.
Just get shot down one day.
Because you actually
and they can prove it there's a missile coming
found
towards.
Pictures or it got absolute evidence of other life there.
Lands in like the equivalent, I don't know, of like Somalia. Some pirates on the side of the beaches are like, what the fuck's that? Let's weigh it in, just unscrewing it all. You know what I mean? Scrapping it for metal.
It's probably full of gold, isn't it? They use gold making things like that.
Probably is, yeah.
This antenna is part of NASA's Deep Space Network and is located in Australia. This network, called DSN for short, represents in detail a worldwide network of the most modern parabolic antennas, which are more commonly known as satellite dishes. The DSN is mainly used by space experts for communication with space probes and satellites. But asteroids can also be observed with the help of this modern technology. As the Voyager probes steadily advanced into space, the antennas of the Deep Space Network had to be upgraded to maintain contact with spacecraft many billions of miles away. The only antenna capable of communicating with Voyager 2 up to the last moment is located near Australia's capital, Canberra. Incidentally, the DSN's other two sites are in California's Mojave Desert and about 30 miles from Spain's capital, Madrid. However, as NASA's spacecraft pushed further and further toward interstellar space, even the renowned space agency's highly complex equipment, which reaches some 230 feet into the sky, reached its limits. Therefore, in the spring of 2020, experts began to carry out extensive repair and modernization work on the antenna. During this phase, however, the equipment was no longer able to make contact with Voyager 2 and issue commands to the probe. Since the antenna itself had already been in operation for 47 years, it was high time to modernize the imposing equipment. In the course of the work, which lasted many weeks, among other things, 2 radio transmitters were replaced, including the transmitter with the help of which the antenna establishes contact with Voyager 2. In addition, some technical components responsible for cooling and heating were renewed. During the construction phase,
how the fuck does it pick up a signal from 12
that's what I'm thinking.
miles away?
What I'm thinking there, if you're picking up a signal from the satellite, I guess you have to be on, I don't want to say the same frequency, but you get what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd have to be able to read it. You have to be married up already.
Yeah.
But how come we're not picking up other signals within 12 billion miles of us? There must be other shit within that same kind of
that's
distance.
it, because maybe there isn't any.
Right.
But, yeah.
That's a fucking bit disappointing, that. Just
I know, it is.
fucking 12 billion miles, a long way that. There's nothing.
I know, nothing
What the Proclaimers going to sing about now when they were, I would, what? Got another song there.
12 billion miles, yeah.
It's just mind-boggling. I'm guessing, I wonder if Jodrell Bank is a part of the NASA thing.
It's old now, isn't it? I don't know when the last upgrade was.
These are all old, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
I've never really known what it does. I knew it was some sort of space thing, but I didn't know.
But it used to be the biggest one
You
in
can
the world,
go.
didn't it?
It used to be the
Jodrell
biggest in the
Bank?
world,
Yeah.
You can go. There's a planetarium there and everything. It's brilliant. It'd be good for the kids.
Yeah,
Kids
really
love it,
good. Yeah,
I
kids
took
will love
mine
it.
years ago.
I've been. I went as a
enjoyed
kid.
it.
I might do it over the summer.
Really good.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I
good
would.
shout.
the parabolic antenna was unable to transmit signals to the spacecraft, but its transmitted data continued to be received. After the new radio transmitter was installed, experts waited with bated breath to see if the signals sent from Earth would reach the spacecraft again. Fortunately, this endeavor was successful, and NASA experts established a stable connection with Voyager 2. The future of the Voyager program. In conclusion, the question remains how long NASA's longest-serving space probes will continue to provide us with information from space. In fact, the energy supply of the spacecraft, which is generated by means of plutonium spheres, has not yet been exhausted. However, the power of the probe's thermoelectric generators decreases by about 4 watts with each passing year. At present, experts at the Space Agency assume that Voyager 1 and 2 will continue to send scientific information to Earth until 2025. Starting in about 2036, the spacecraft will have flown so far from our blue home planet that it will no longer be reachable by the Deep Space Network. How did you like our video about the history?
Really interesting.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's filling up on that plutonium, whatever it was, in space.
It's charging from something else.
No, petrol stations, gas stations.
Yeah, plutonium station. Seems plausible.
Plutonium station.
Some little green men climbing on top.
Yeah. Fill up, please.
Hello, Governor.
You got change of a blip blop.
Oh, is that the currency?
Currency, yeah. That's the Deep Space Nine currency, where it is. Deep Space Network currency.
Wow. This is
mind-blowing, isn't it? It's absolutely crazy.
There must be something sad about it for these scientists. That if they sent one now using today's technology,
they won't be alive.
It's going to become so obsolete, the technology, that in 10 years' time, if you could have only sent that camera system or transmitter or whatever,
it's got to start somewhere, though, hasn't it?
I know, but the technology advances that quick.
And I suppose
nowadays,
it's only going to travel at the same pace as well, I suppose, isn't it? So...
Unless it's some sort of propulsion system. I've gone, no, I'm not a scientist, as we've established.
Who's looking at that data all day and just typing that kind of stuff all day?
And how much data are they getting from it?
What's your head like when you leave, when you go home at night?
Oh, man,
Your head would be in bits, won't it?
Yeah, just a bit.
How was your day at work today, honey? Well, it has to be Brian Cox.
Loads of calculations on the window, won't they? Like,
yeah, they're not married. Anyway,
I hope you guys enjoyed that too. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell. Let us know if you want us to do more science, space stuff.
I'm enjoying the science stuff.
It's
It's good.
We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Cheers, guys.